What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Poke Office. My name is Colin. In today's video, we're looking at the future of Pokemon in 2024 and what we can expect. And at the end, I'm going to tell you why I'm really excited about it. Because right now, I'd consider this to be like we're entering into the middle portion of the Scarlet and Violet era. Typically, there's 12 sets plus some specialty sets in each era of Pokemon. So in Sun and Moon, we saw like 3 years of Sun and Moon. Then we saw 3 years of Sword and Shield. We just finished the first year of Scarlet and Violet era, and now we're entering into this new phase. And that's what I kind of want to start this video off, thinking about Sun and Moon era, Sword and Shield era, and Scarlet and Violet era. So all the way back to Sun and Moon era, I wasn't around Pokemon all that much back then, so I'm not that knowledgeable about it, but we had sets like Ultra Prism, Forbidden Light, Celestial Storm, Lost Thunder, like some sets that I don't know what people's perception of them was at the time, but right now, I mean, I think we could all accept the fact that if someone offered us one of those booster boxes, we would take it. Like, they're hot, in-demand sets, and they're not the most notable sets out of Sun and Moon, but definitely still some really good sets in there. Then we fast forward to Sword and Shield era, and now is where I'm like starting to get involved in the Pokemon scene. So we had sets like Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, which is, I mean, we all know that one, Celebrations as a specialty set, and Fusion Strike, kind of in that middle portion of Sword and Shield era. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because, especially Sword and Shield, because that's what I'm familiar with. I mean, Battle Styles, yeah, some people didn't like it. The booster box is like just over $100 right now, and it's not anyone's favorite set. But you got the Sleepy Tyranitar, you got the Single Strike and the Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX cards and the Urshifu V cards. Like, this is the start of when Sword and Shield era started going really, really good, in my opinion. Because before that, the first year, you had like Scarlet and Violet base set, Rebel Clash. Ha, gotcha. Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage. You did have Champion's Path, which was a pretty good specialty set. Shining Fates. So it's like, I don't know. None of those sets are screaming to me that it's like, wow, I need to have those booster boxes or I need to invest in those sets. But everything from the middle tier is like, yeah, I want that. Like Battle Styles, I think it's a perfect pickup at just over $100 still, because you still have that like when alternate arts came to be in Sword and Shield era. Then you have Chilling Reign, which everyone knows my opinion, and lots of YouTubers' opinions and lots of people's opinions in general. Chilling Reign is one of those sets where I could see it going on a nice streak in 2024. Currently, I think it's like right around $160, $165 in the market price. I didn't check right before recording this video. Then Evolving Skies, everyone knows that Evolving Skies is the best set out of Sword and Shield, especially based on market price. So you have all the evolutions and you have all of the chase cards in there, but the booster box is a crazy expensive already at like $440 or so in the market price. So a great, great set that kind of like set the precedent for what Sword and Shield was moving forward. Then we had Celebrations, which brought back all the nostalgia again with Blastoise, Venusaur, and the King Charizard. But you also had like a couple of the Gold Star cards. You had the Shiny Magikarp, which was cool. You had like the Pikachu cards, which aren't worth that much, but still like a really nice throwback set. Fusion Strike brought out that Gengar, which arguably, like, and more is becoming one of my favorite cards out of Sword and Shield era all time. And then we moved into the Trainer Gallery era, which we're not talking about, but like, what I'm trying to say is this middle portion of Sword and Shield really brought about like the best out of Sword and Shield. Now we move into last year where Scarlet and Violet was released. Scarlet and Violet base set, kind of like, no one has anything like amazing to say about Scarlet and Violet base set. But then we had Paldea Evolved, which I think is an awesome set, and the market price on all these Scarlet and Violet booster boxes right now are super cheap. We had Obsidian Flames, which arguably is not a great set. You have too many Charizards. Charizard has been printed a lot in 2024, but I will say the artwork in Obsidian Flames is like legit awesome. So then we moved into Scarlet and Violet 151, which has brought all the nostalgia people back in because that's just the way it goes. And now we have Paradox Rift. So here's an interesting thing, right? I think Pokemon is really hitting their stride moving into 2024, where we're going to get into this middle tier or middle portion of Scarlet and Violet era. They're starting these new stuff. They're starting this new stuff, which like future and ancient Pokemon, which whether you like the gimmick or not, there's new gimmicks that happen. Like this is not, I read one comment online and they're like, this is not a TCG related opinion. This is like from the game that came out, and Pokemon is going in that direction. They have ancient and future Pokemon, so the cards follow in that similar pattern. So whether you like those gimmicks, the Terra gimmick, there's always been gimmicks in Pokemon. You had the Megas, and you had the EX, and you had the GX, and you had the V cards. Like you had all this stuff. It's tag team, like everything. Everything has a gimmick, and this is just Pokemon's way of the new generation is going into Terra, and it's going into ancient, and it's going into future Pokemon. And I mean, I'm here for it, honestly. I'm really excited about the future of Pokemon, specifically because of a few reasons. Scarlet and Violet has the first era that has silver borders in English. I think that's going to be really substantial from an investing standpoint moving forward. Like, think about 10 to 20 years down the road, if you are willing to hold that long. Think about it. We had all these yellow border cards, common cards, and now they made the big switch. This is like a significant moment in Pokemon history happening before our eyes with silver borders. Then we left off Sword and Shield with this like great trainer gallery stuff going on, great alternate arts going on, and then we move right into Scarlet and Violet era, and we have the most amazing illustration rares, the most amazing special illustration rares. We have special illustration rares of supporter cards. We have the whole thing is just, I think it's phenomenal. And this might be a hot take, but even Scarlet and Violet base set, every single set so far out of Scarlet and Violet has been like mind-blowingly awesome in terms of artwork, in my opinion. So I just think that we're in a great space. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that some of the people's feedbacks online is like, hard pass. Paradox Rift sucks. I'm not going to open any Paradox Rift. Oh, Temporal Forces is Paradox Rift 2.0. This is like the rebel trash of Scarlet and Violet era. Paldean Fates is going to suck. Shining Fates sucked, so Paldean Fates is immediately going to suck. Like, there's so much negative content, which I actually have some screenshots. We're going to go over it in a little bit here. But this is really, as an investor, I think a really, really good thing, because people are not liking the set. That means the prices are down. We're seeing it right before our eyes. Scarlet and Violet base set is like $90 for a booster box. Paldea Evolved is like $100 per booster box. Obsidian Flame is under $100. 151 is kind of like the crazy one because it's so much nostalgia brought people back. And then Paradox Rift is like a $90 booster box. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not saying that you're going to go double your money tomorrow by buying this stuff, but if you are in it for like the collector investor, like we always talk about on the channel, I mean, what an amazing opportunity to buy Scarlet and Violet booster boxes or cases or Elite Trainer boxes or whatever you're buying for like a crazy, ridiculous price. You're basically paying wholesale prices. It's like you have the distributor at your fingertips without having to buy all the stuff from the distributor that you don't want. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. So before we get into like the people's comments, I want to just talk about Paldean Fates a little bit. It's coming out in a couple weeks. I'm really excited about it. My personal take on it right now, before like seeing too much, I've opened 2-3 boxes of Shiny Treasure, so the Japanese variant of it. I think it's way better than Shining Fates. I think it's still subpar compared to Hidden Fates. Hidden Fates just, those full arts hit a little bit differently, especially with that SV49 Charizard. That's a total banger. You got the couple evolutions in there as well. You got the Mewtwo. So a lot of great things about Hidden Fates from the Sun and Moon era. Shining Fates was just overprinted to the moon and back. And there's nothing really that I want out of Shining Fates. Of course, like value-wise, the Charizard VMAX shiny card is pretty cool, but honestly, not that much excitement coming out of Shining Fates. But with Paldean Fates, well, it has a huge baby shiny lineup, which some people really like. I actually was lucky enough out of the Japanese box to pull the Pikachu on live stream, which is a pretty cool card. But you have those baby shinies, and then you have like quite a few special illustration rares, which I think I'll put up on the screen here. They look pretty cool. You got the Mew, which I don't know about you, but I am down for this type of artwork. I think it looks phenomenal. Then you have the Iono, which is the biggest card out of the Japanese Shiny Treasure EX box, which, I mean, some people don't like Iono. I don't particularly care, but I think the card looks absolutely phenomenal. You have the Charizard Special Illustration Rare, which, I mean, I just can't say no to a shiny Charizard, to be honest with you. I don't love the fact that they've printed Charizard so much in Scarlet and Violet era so far, but how do I say no to a black and red Charizard? And I personally think the diamond, like crazy shattered pattern on that card looks really cool. Then we have my personal favorite card is the Gardevoir. I don't know what else to say. The artwork is just absolutely spectacular. So there's lots to look forward to, in my opinion. I think Paldean Fates is a good way to start 2024. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes from here. But we already know, because Temporal Forces comes out, I mean, I guess in the realm of 2 months after Paldean Fates. So looking forward to that. Speaking of Paldean Fates, I wanted to let you know that TCGandGames.com has pre-orders now available. He's got his allocations, so they're available. You can get a discount using the promo code ThePokeyOffice at TCGandGames.com. Go check it out. Great service, like I always say, and he helps out the channel a lot. So go support him. TCGandGames.com to pre-order your Paldean Fates. Okay, so another thing I wanted to go over in this video is some feedback that I've been reading on like Discord and on YouTube, on Reddit, on Facebook groups. Like, people are seemingly not loving Paradox Rift, not loving the Ancient and Future gimmick, not loving Temporal Forces with the stuff coming out, with the pictures coming out. So just a few comments to read here. So this set's going to be a bust. I'm predicting this as well. I saw these up a while ago. I didn't like the look of them. Paradox 2.0, definitely skip this. Pass, hard pass for me. The new Pokemon ain't the problem. It's the AI generated looking art. Looks cheap and crap. PS2 graphics Pokemon. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm losing my mind. Like, that's just not the case in my opinion. I think Scarlet and Violet era is setting a new precedent of Pokemon being ridiculously cool artwork. Like, if I look back to the X and Y era, and then I look back to Sun and Moon era, and then I look back to Sword and Shield era, I legitimately can tell you 100% that the artwork in Scarlet and Violet era is the best artwork Pokemon has produced in the last 4 eras of Pokemon. I'm not saying that every card is better, but as a whole, easily the best artwork is in Scarlet and Violet, in my opinion. So I just don't get this take. Here's what I think is happening is that people are still in the hobby from during that COVID boom, where they were buying up cards and they were buying and selling, and they were expecting to double their money in a matter of like a month, because that's how crazy the COVID market was during Pokemon. You'd buy a booster box, find a good deal on it, and then the next month it was crazy priced. Or you'd buy a card and all of a sudden it spiked. We saw huge gains in Sun and Moon cards in early Sword and Shield and middle Sword and Shield stuff, and I just don't think that's not a good way to look at Pokemon. So honestly, part of me wants to say that, like, if you have these type of takes, I think you really need to reconsider, because Pokemon, first of all, is like a fun hobby. It's a collectible. It's a card game. There is some investment side to it, but we talked about it a million times on the channel. Pokemon Company is in it to make money. So if they want to mass produce this stuff, they will. They're in it to sell their product and to get it out to everyone who wants it. So, like, I just don't get how you can think that Paradox Rift sucks and that Paldean Fates is going to suck and that Temporal Forces is going to suck. Paradox Rift, and full disclaimer, I said that I didn't think Paradox Rift was going to be very good. And boy, was I wrong, because it's one of my favorite sets. I really like the set. I think it has so much working for it, which we talked about in a video last week, so you can go check that out if you haven't watched it yet. I just don't get these takes, other than the fact that people see it. They're expecting like huge things to be able to invest and double their money. They're not seeing that opportunity, so now it's time to poo-poo on Pokemon, which is not the right avenue to take, I don't think. But I have to give some people credit. I also found some really good feedback on the interwebs, so we'll just read a few of those. I'm loving all SV sets so far. I don't understand how people can complain about so many beautiful illustration rares and affordable prices. Investing heavily in Modern isn't super advisable anyways. I don't know if I agree with that, but anyways. So I'm happy using the current bear market as an opportunity to bolster some awesome-looking binder collections. Plenty of other great stuff to invest in right now if one wishes. Completely agree with it's amazing. You can get illustration rares and special illustration rare cards for like really affordable prices. You can have an awesome filled binder of Pokemon cards, and that's just amazing for the collection aspect of it. And people are taking this so not seriously that investing in Pokemon right now, sealed product, is actually it's not expensive. You can buy stuff for basically wholesale price like we talked about. Here's another comment. I think a lot of people are missing what I believe to be the direction Pokemon is taking. They understand to not just survive, but to continually grow as a company. They can't just cater to the people who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. The game has evolved, the TCG has evolved, the art has evolved, and so should our perceptions of these sets. You'll be able to look back in time and easily define Scarlet and Violet as an era that did just that, evolved. A unique take on Pokemon that has never been seen before. To have something like that making a standout, regardless of how you or I perceive it, is a massive bonus when compared to the previous sets, which are generally indistinguishable from each other. These are the sets where Pokemon is no longer recycling characters over and over. We're being introduced to new legendaries, new Pokemon, hell of a time frame, future, and ancient. To me, it's a huge opportunity, as this era will stand out on its own. Maybe not as a banger era for us, but if the game and company is going to survive long term, you'd better hope this era resonates with the players in younger generation, which I think it has done so far. So we haven't even talked about this, but my goodness, what an amazing take. It's absolutely right. There's totally a time and a place for it, because I was eating Scarlet and Violet 151 up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I loved everything about it. I loved the nostalgia of it. But there's a lot of people in the Pokemon space now who aren't in their middle 30s and who didn't grow up with base set Pokemon cards, who didn't play Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow. There's a whole different generation of people who are loving Pokemon. There's that new show that's coming up with not Ash Ketchum. What is going on? I'm getting old. It's crazy. But people are coming into Pokemon, and it's time to start not just relying on us 30-year-olds or 20-year-olds, whoever grew up with Pokemon, but to really lead us into a new generation of Pokemon. I think it's really, really cool. So you're doing that, or the Pokemon Company is doing that in a variety of ways. They're introducing new gimmicks. They're introducing new games, new Pokemon. They're introducing great artwork. The card game has different metas coming to it, which I don't know much about, so I'm not going to talk about that. But overall, what an amazing take. Pokemon Company is a money-making company, so they just got to keep finding ways to make Pokemon continue to be a cash cow. One more thing that I wanted to read. I'm confused. Are people hating on the set because of something wrong in the set? Because a lot of the complaints seem to be around the Paradox Pokemon, which wasn't a TCG decision. We've already talked about that, but basically, it's the Pokemon Company making this decision, not the card game specifically making this decision, because this is just the new generation of Pokemon, what's happening. And I thought this was really cool, so I thought I'd include it. Edit. For those interested in the lore of weird Pokemon, Gen 9, besides introducing Terra, introduced the concept of Paradox Pokemon. Depending on your game, these Pokemon either represent parallel universe past Scarlet or parallel universe future versions of existing Pokemon. Pokemon decided to make the legendary beasts past versions and the musketeers future versions. The future versions are almost always, what if this Pokemon were extinct and humans made a robot version of what they thought this Pokemon looked like? Well, the past version is usually a rougher themed version of the Pokemon. In terms of the legendary beasts, the Paradox Pokemon are based on dinosaurs. Suicune equals Raptor, Entei equals Brontosaurus, Entei, that's the wrong one, but there's a Triceratops as well. It's important to note that although it's obvious what their original Pokemon was, they have different names and are considered separate Pokemon. I thought that was really cool. Also, I needed the breakdown of some of the new names, because there's a whole bunch of them that I'm probably going to get wrong. But the last thing I wanted to do is just look at some of this Pokemon artwork that we're coming out with. We got Paldean Fates, so we've already shown you. The Gardevoir is absolutely breathtaking. The Mew is absolutely amazing. The Charizard, the Iono, the Pikachu Baby Shiny. Plus, there's those supporter cards like Clive, which is absolutely ridiculously cool as well. The more I see it, the more I like it. Then we have Temporal Forces, and we have, look at all these cards. I'm going to butcher their names. There's Roaring Wake, and there's something Bolt. I can't remember them all yet, but I just think this is like, it feels like the peak of Pokemon where we're reaching right now. I'm really, really excited about how 2024 is going to play out. I think we're just coming over that first crest before it's like a downhill. The snowball gets rolling, a downhill in a good way. I mean, where the snowball starts hard. We just reached over the crest, and now we're just going to start rolling, and Pokemon is going to start steamrolling again, and I think it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Last bit is, how do we take advantage of this as Pokemon collectors and investors? Well, we've already kind of talked about it. Buy cheap. It's amazing. Cards right now, illustration rares, special illustration rares, very, very affordable. I know someone in my Discord community. If you're not in the Discord community, by the way, you should join it. The link is down below in the description. But I'm seeing him buy up cards left, right, and center. And like, he's actually almost, I don't want to say this, but he's almost like day trading Pokemon cards by seeing what's going on, seeing these cheap, incredible artworks, and then having like 4 or 5 of them on hand and then selling them and making some money. So it's a cool little hobby he's got going on. There's other opportunities. You have sealed product going, like I've told you, basically for wholesale pricing, which is ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. Seriously, from what I know, if you have a distributor, they basically say, here's your allotment, and you have to take it or leave it, and we want the money. Now, right now, as a Pokemon consumer, without a distributor, we can just be like, hey, yo, I want X and X, such and such. I want 2 cases of Temporal Forces booster boxes. I don't need to get all the ETBs. I don't need to get all the sleeved blisters. I don't need to get all the ancillary product, the build and battle boxes, or the collection boxes. I just want the booster boxes. So I can just pick and choose, and I'm basically paying the same prices as the local game stores, which is nuts. So I think that's just an incredible opportunity for us as Pokemon collectors and investors in 2024. This is how we take advantage. We just keep on buying stuff. We keep on ripping cards. We keep on buying and selling cards. We keep on buying with the idea that it's going to take 3 to 5 to 10 years to see big gains on this stuff. But that's fine. That's the way that you should be looking at Pokemon. If you want to go day trading Pokemon, you should go do that on the stock market rather than Pokemon. Or just like buy and sell Pokemon cards. But really, realistically, there's better ways to like make a quick buck than in Pokemon. But if you're part of the collecting and really enjoy the hobby, and part of that enjoyment is about having sealed product and investing in sealed product, now is just an absolutely great time to do so. So that's the video. I got 10 packs of Paradox Rift because we're talking about Paradox Pokemon, Future, Ancient. Paradox Rift is the first one to introduce that. I'm still looking for that Roaring Moon. So maybe today, come on, I'll flip the screen around and let's go. All right, here we are with 10 packs of Paradox Rift. Let me know what you think. I seriously just don't understand people's thought process when they're talking about Pokemon right now. I just think it's so fun, so good. I think 2024 is going to be an amazing year for Pokemon. Armor Rouge. I don't know. Like, I can't tell you that I think that Ancient and Future Pokemon are the coolest thing. Like, I don't think they are. But I still think that the Pokemon cards in general are absolutely incredible. So I'm easily excited. I mean, I recognize that negativity kind of is more popular than positivity. It's the same if you're on anything. Like, the negative news spreads faster than the positive news. But there's something about it. Ooh, hoopa. 2 hits out of 2 packs. Nice. There's something about it that is like, why is there so much negativity surrounding Pokemon right now? But I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the video because it was a little bit of a rambly one, but I don't think, from what I've read, people didn't love Team Up when it came out. I'm not going to say that people thought that Cosmic Eclipse was bad, but I don't think it had the like crazy love for it like it does now. Like there's something about a little bit of time passes and then we start to love it a little bit more. I mean, even base set. Before COVID, you could get base set from 1999 a lot cheaper than you can get it now. So it's not like it was just, wow, base set was so amazing. I also read that like legendary collection out of like, what was it, 2002, I think it was 2002 anyways. It was a total trash set. And I don't know how accurate that was, but it certainly wasn't like, wow, makes people speechless like it does now. Because now, if you watch like PokeRev open up a legendary booster box, it's like, holy crap, I want that. Why can I not have that? Like, it's the most amazing thing ever. So as time passes, I think people get a little bit more like, wow, this is amazing. And that's why I think personally that Paradox Rift and Scarlet and Violet era as a whole is going to be like silver borders. That's the first time it happened. This is a pretty cool era. I mean, ancient and future Pokemon, maybe it's just a gimmick that lasts right now for this era, but maybe it turns into something a little different. Like, I don't know. I'm just rambling. I personally think that Pokemon is in a great, great space. I'm really excited about it. I think 2024 is going to be a really fun year where we don't even know the half of what's coming yet. So I think there's going to be lots and lots of opportunity for both collecting and investing in Pokemon. Another EX. So the hits are coming. Nothing spectacular yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Come on. 3 packs left. Still looking for Iron Valiant and Roaring Moon. I've said it a million times, but part of the reason why I like the set so much is because I'm still chasing the top 2 cards. And in my perspective, I'm lucky because I get to do live streams where I get to rip packs for other people. So my biggest thing personally is I just want to be able to say that I've opened that card. Like, I've opened a pack with that card in it. So there's a few from Sword and Shield era that I'm still... Ooh, Blitzel. That's a cool card. I like that. There's still a few cards from Sword and Shield that I really, really, really would like to pull. The Giratina from Lost Origin and the Moonbryon are on the bucket list. I'd also like to pull the Blaziken from Chilling Reign, but that one's not as important to me as the other two. It's like, it almost feels like in order to be like a big time Pokemoner, you gotta have the Moonbryon pulled. That's what it feels like to me. I'm probably just making things up in my own head, but that is what it is. That was it. That was the last pack. Kind of anticlimactic, but this Blitzel is a really, really cool card. I'm liking that a lot. And then we have 3 EX cards, Cofagrigus, Hoopa, and Armarouge. Overall, not too bad. 4 hits. That's going to do it for me at the Poke Office. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment. I appreciate it. It helps me out to help grow the channel. Hope you enjoyed the content, and as always, I'll see you on the next video. Peace!